Welcome back, everybody. I'm Enygma. So in this story, we're going to meld both folklore as well as urban legend. Now, what's really interesting about this story is that it both melds from the Native American folklore all the way to, honestly, normal citizens walking the streets today. It's a story that goes throughout time, which is very bizarre and interesting, and I'm really excited about this one. So, if you enjoy my content, as always, please make sure you hit me up on the social media tags, as well as hit that like and subscribe button below, and hit that bell to be notified when any of my videos are coming out. I can't do this without your guys' support, and it means the world to me. It really does. So without further ado, stay a while, and listen. California, Idaho, Utah, and Nevada all have stories regarding the water babies. We begin in Idaho, the water babies of Massacre Rocks. Outside of Pocatello, Idaho is a tragic, frightening spot known as Massacre Rocks. Long ago, it was a scene of an incredibly awful and sad incident. How nowadays, it is home of the ghosts who haunted because of that incident. When the Native Americans inhabited this area, there was a severe famine. It was so intense that the villagers got together and decided that there wasn't enough food to feed any new mouths. As babies were being born, their mothers were forced to take them to a nearby river and drown them, rather than having them live a life of constant hunger and starvation. Nowadays, these so-called water babies still make their presence known. If you go to the banks of the river and sit a while in silence, you'll begin to hear the unmistakable sound of babies crying. It's supposed to be the spirits of those same babies looking for their mothers. In Utah, the Ute Indians told of stories of a mysterious race of dwarves who lived in the lake. They referred to them as water babies because of their clever tactics in luring people to their deaths. They would make sounds very reminiscent of crying babies. Concerned people would take off into the lake in an effort to locate and rescue the endangered babies within, only to be dragged down into the depths by the nefarious water babies. If one managed to escape the clutches of these devilish dwarves, they wouldn't be in the clear. A huge predatorial man-hating monster also calls Utah Lake home. The first sighting by a European occurred just at the tail end of the Civil War, when a resident reporting being chased down to the shore by a 30-foot reptile, which then turned around and joined another huge beast and swam off. Shortly after, a different man claimed to see a huge reptile with the head of a dog patrolling the waters in the lake. In 1870, some fishermen found a large, strange skull with tusks protruding from it in the water. Sightings occurred steadily throughout the late 1800s through the 1920s, when they finally died down. Be careful around Lake Utah. From beasts to beastly babies, it's quite the threatening body of water. Some believe that the stories that involve Pyramid Lake in the great state of Nevada are just silly fables told to children to keep them away from the water. Still, the allure of this scenic place is strong, and it gets its name from the unusual pyramid-like shaped rocks that jut out from the cool and tempting waters. These waters reach an impressive depth of over 350 feet, but the eerie legends that surround this beautiful lake have more to do with what lies beneath. Every year, a number of bizarre and unexplainable events occur, especially during the springtime, including hearing cries of the lost water babies and the countless number of fishermen that set out on the waters, never to return home. There are a number of tales that try to give reason to the phenomenon of the haunting sounds and the missing people. Two legends in particular are most commonly told by the locals, and it begins with the American Indian Paiute tribe, who said to have thrown their malformed and premature babies into the dark and murky waters to drown them, in an effort to keep their tribe strong. And so the story goes, the shrieks and cries that are heard late into the night are the ghosts of those drowned babies from the Paiute tribe. Another rendition of this haunting fable involves the Paiute tribesman and a mermaid from Pyramid Lake who fell madly in love, only to have their reunion rejected from the tribe. The heartbroken mermaid was exiled from the lake by the Paiute tribe, but not only did she not leave, she remained there in her growing fury, cursing the waters and seeking vengeance of any man that attempts to enter her lake. This, of course, would explain all of the missing fishermen. Some believe that this version of the story was concocted by the Paiute tribe themselves in an effort to repair their name and cover up the savage and despicable actions of drowning their own babies. Still, who can really be sure if any of these urban legends hold any validity? Like all stories of this nature, the only real proof is to experience it yourself. Perhaps it's a made-up tale to keep the town's children safe and close to home. Or maybe the late cries of the drowned infants and the missing fishermen are real dangers that should be taken seriously. So that is the story of the water babies. How weird is that? But doesn't it remind you of when you're a kid and you're walking around and you see like a river or a pond or something like that, and you know there was always that weird stories that your friends used to tell you about, like don't go too close or something's gonna get you. That's kind of what this story reminds me about really. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm Enygma. We'll see you next time.